That'd be nice.
That's what they would ask. There you go.
Oh, he's coming.
I have to get my glasses on, it's getting right.
Well, that thing, show that thing.
Definitely, it's the FSU foundation.
Call meeting to order, roll call.
Mayor Wishker.
Yes.
Mulder.
Yes.
Stanky.
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Okay, no public forum. Consent agenda, any additions or corrections?
No.
Motion to approve,
So moved.
second,
I'll say that.
roll call.
Mulder.
Yes.
Stanky.
Yes.
Tom. Reese.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 1843 is the quick claim deed for that 50-foot strip.
Yeah, so here we're out there at that property where Keith and Chris Babcock built their house. So they built their house on two parcels. One is a platted lot, which is to the east, and then there's a 50-foot, what had been a platted 50-foot strip used as a roadway in the original plat.
50
Now,
feet in length,
50 feet wide.
50 feet wide.
50 feet wide, and then the entire depth of the front lot. So, just that, so this property, you know, they built their house on it. And as they get in then for their mortgage, their mortgage company is asking the city to clarify that we do have no interest in that property. And we had said that before. We did not give them a quick claim deed before, but we accepted an easement from them before. You know, so that just that property, the subdivision out there on North Shore has actually had lots right along the road, but then it also had second-tier lots in back of that. Okay, and of course they never developed, and this was in the 60s then. The north part, the back part of that plat was rescinded, and the plat was removed from it, and it became one parcel. Okay, now that included this 50 feet, because then there was no road heading back in. Okay, so that property has become private, has changed hands several times since then as private property.
You're talking about the whole property behind the houses on those.
Yep, including this 50-foot strip.
So how many easements are back into that property?
There's 3 10-foot strips, I think, and one of those has certainly become private over the years too, and then there's one or two of them that are truly still kind of questioned, but the city would claim those as access points to the ground.
So we're not going to give them any development.
No, this, like I say, this 50-foot has been private and changed hands for coming up on 50 years.
So the other two that are left, the city has control of.
I'm going to tell you at least one for sure, and get my numbers right, Vicki, whether there was 2 or 3 to start with, because one of them has become private over the years, and we wouldn't make claim to it. The other ones are still in doubt. And Dave Dennett's done quite a little bit of research on that, and you know the city still would make some claim to those remaining walkways.
So it's 50 foot wide, but you said it runs the full depth of the lot.
Yes.
So how big is it?
Oh, no, because it's 100 and 120 feet deep, or whatever.
So the garage where the garage sits.
It's kind of where the garage is just sitting is 150 feet.
So who lives, I mean, I know that Jerry lives on one side, who lives on the other side?
She was just here this summer.
Yeah. And, you know, it's now an extended family of the person you would have thought of previously, and I can't come up with the name just right off my head. They,
There was no east here on Fort Dodge someplace. There was school teachers that I know.
there he is.
I had been with us for you started early.
Well, good.
Scott, do we still have a 10-foot easement on that 50 strip?
We do. So we got the easement that's on the west 10 feet.
But David's getting his blessing on this. The 50-foot strip, that costs.
On the
Yeah.
claim deed issue.
Yes.
They know which 50-foot strip.
We have a motion to approve 1843.
I'll make it.
Second,
I'll second it.
roll call.
Reese,
Yes.
Stanky,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Mulder.
Okay, 1844, street financial report.
Yeah, every year the city is required to complete a report for the state DOT, and this shows expenditures for street purposes. The whole report is summarized on page 7. And we did have quite a bit of expenses during this reporting period. A lot of that was the 2017 concrete street project. So that's accounted for here too. Really just what's interesting is the bottom line, and then the second line up from the bottom about funds that were remaining. And remember, this was at June 30, including street debt funds. There's $155,000. So this could be devoted to street purposes, but again, that includes debt, the debt service fund.
Need a motion to
Yes.
approve?
Yep.
That's 1844. Second,
Yeah, I'll second.
roll call.
Mulder,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Tom, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, we've got number 4, legacy power line pool electric project payment due. Bill, everybody's happy?
You bet.
We have a motion to approve the payment.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mulder,
Yes.
Reese, Tom.
Yes.
And pay us for Gunman Hicks.
I guess just a little update. Give a little update on construction, Bill, and where they're at. Because you see, in the memo, it said we would now pay for 40% of the project. You know, and they had originally told us they'd be done by around November, so they're actually not maybe as far as what they thought they would be.
They're, got all the poles set from Blackhawk Marine, going out to the Coon River, and getting ready to switch that over, which is a big chunk of the line. And then they start dropping poles off the mile north of the golf course. That'll be the next session they do.
So what's the expected time for completion?
I thought it wasn't the 1st of December, Scott, they figured?
I think the completion date was November 30th, was contract.
Yeah.
And they're on schedule for that?
They have 50 linemen, so they can pull in. I'm not worried about it.
Well, if you're not worried about it, I'm not worried about it.
It's looking really good.
The Gunman Hicks wants to get paid for the lagoon project.
Yeah, so this would be estimate number 2, $442,000. See that the bulk of that is dirt work, and then also then some pipe and bedding. So this is actual work in the lagoon. So they're doing again a lot of the dirt work and some piping around the lagoon, and they're also installing water main.
Have you been out there long done?
Yes, the road's really rough going down there. We'll take your motorcycle.
How about you?
That'll make it. I took a picture, give it to the people with the pipes and the paper and all. But they're having some struggles down there with mud. Bill said I'd take a city truck next time I go down there.
Yeah.
They had a little issue with the road.
You know, with the trench caving in, the sidewalls, a lot of water down there. The water table is way high for this time of year.
It's a muddy mess.
They got 2 pumps pumping.
Is that guy that was injured, is he doing okay? Do you know?
Haven't heard a word.
But they damaged the road, right?
Yep.
We're working on that.
You'll hear about that.
Oh,
Okay, we have a motion to pay number 2 estimates.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
roll call.
Mulder,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Reese, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, we've got some plans for the building.
You bet. You wanna kinda talk through those plans a little bit, Bill, on the building?
Did you include that in the packet, Scott?
Yeah, back.
It's that double fold.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
Well, the proposal is to face the doors to the east. Basically, put up a building 70 by 120, insulated. We will have to heat it, and the electric department will wire it once it's done. And you had a question on the insulation, Scott?
Yeah, just,
Go down fiberglass at first.
That's where the bid spec is. by
But
the
we
way.
want to change that to foam, don't we?
No.
Don't?
no,
In today's world, I would think we'd want to spray foam, wouldn't we?
Hmm?
We'd want to spray foam, wouldn't we? It's a lot better.
I don't know.
Lumber doesn't sell spray foam.
oh, okay.
It's fiberglass.
Well,
Bad insulation? I can tell you with the way that the guy designed the building as a ladder frame, it will insulate really well fiberglass wise too.
So which is more cost effective, maybe?
I can tell you what's gonna cost less by a long shot than that fiberglass.
I'll tell you too, just not that, years ago, we foamed our house, like they drilled in holes and
Yeah.
holding it. But when we opened that up and we redid our house about 15 years later, everything was away from the sides about that. I don't know if this new stuff does it, I have no
Yep,
idea.
I have no knowledge on the spray
I
ladder.
don't know that.
Well, I'm sure it's like any product, the newer is probably better, but I don't know that that gives us a good idea of which is where we want to go.
Could you just bid it both ways and make the decision then? Get it spray foam or
Sure.
roll? Then at least you guys have some numbers to deal with. And then they can also give you some specs.
Good idea, Bill.
I need a spec on spray foam.
Open or closed cell, there's a difference, isn't there?
Well,
There is a difference.
Which one's better?
You don't use spray foam.
I don't do spray foam.
But just, we'd look to this engineer to give us a quick spec on what we're doing.
I'd say that'd be another check. It's a charge for that. I don't know how much.
How much?
I don't know that.
We want to know how much before we know anything. Wouldn't we? I mean, we're
I
dealing with a lot
can
of
get an
knowns
answer
here.
on that here.
I just know there's a difference. I don't know which one's better, open or closed.
The closed cell foam is a better foam. It's a higher, it's a more expensive foam than the open cell. How do you know that? It's a better product.
In a building that should last, what, 50, 60 years?
Who's ever gonna open it up?
No room,
Or other ones from World War II, so.
That may be the last one.
Right.
Just want to look at long term.
Nice idea.
They like
I just think we need to know, one, what's the engineering cost is, two, how much money difference are we talking about, and is it even worth it?
Is there anybody local that does that?
Yes.
I don't know which one he does.
He does both. I think. You've got two locals, really.
Well, then we
You
can
got
ask.
Meredith, and you got Andy Beckman.
Because I would certainly be open to the idea of bidding that in. It doesn't cost you anything to bid that, so long as you get a spec to
Well,
what
we
it
have
is
to
that
have
you
a spec from the engineer, that's what you're saying.
bid. we could include it as an addendum and get a spec from Meredith.
So everybody bids apples to apples.
Exactly.
I'll just take a phone call.
He's thinking about
You ordered a pizza.
All right.
Did you?
So, just, the engineered plans for the building are these 2 pages. Okay, so that's, and you see the engineer has prepared those and signed and sealed them there on the right side. And I do find that amazing that everything that a contractor needs to know about building the building is in these 2 pages. But it is. And then we'll have a bid packet that goes along with it, with instructions about how to bid.
How much did this?
As a contractor, 35 did it, say
There's
it's
3,000. So, questions, though, would be about when would we like to bid this and when would we like to have completion date on it? You know,
It should be instant.
as far as timing,
When the building gets built, all the installation that gets done, it's gotta get done after the building.
this, the biggest thing is demolition of the existing faucets and site preparation. Okay, so, and Bill's been doing a little checking on that. So, where are we at on site preparation then, Bill, and what are you thinking about timing?
I called John last week, John Healy, and he said he can't get to me until this week on the amount of fill it's gonna take and tear down the old ones.
We're gonna have to rent some storage things so we can put all your electric
Yeah, we have,
stuff in.
there's a lot of stuff in there.
So what were you thinking about project timeline?
I talked to Scott today, and I would, we've got a lot of things going on right now, and I was thinking about bidding this in January to get your best bids from all your contractors. And completion date, I just mentioned like July 1st.
Does it hurt to take the bids in October and they can't start till January anyway?
Well, but
They won't start in the
you know, we'll
winter.
have the buildings cleaned out, and the old ones tore down, and the site ready for the contractor.
And he thinks he'll get a better bid.
Well, anything before January is a good kind of bid.
What I'm concerned about that is, I usually agree with you on that, but the way the steel price is going right now, would they be able to lock something in? Say that we put this bid up next month, let's say, we just talk about that. Could they lock in the steel, even though they weren't gonna get it until next year, probably in July?
Where are steel prices going?
Well, the tariffs are coming off.
One of my suppliers dropped his price here to me a couple weeks ago. He didn't say it was going back up anytime soon.
Okay.
He didn't say it was going down either. And that's only one of about 3 different places I buy steel from.
Okay.
I mean, the media reports are wrong.
I think he, well, so he's trying to get business too, so, but he dropped his price, but it was a little bit because he had gotten a little, he was on the high side.
Okay.
Now he's on the low side.
It doesn't hurt to bid it, I just.
It doesn't cost nothing to bid it.
No, I just, that was just a concern, I was wondering if that would that be a concern that would keep somebody from bidding that normally would because he doesn't know what the price of steel is gonna be.
Do they have to pay their supplier at that time then, Whitey? You know,
I'm not sure how it's,
if we bid it right now, if we're gonna lock the price, we pay for it right now, or whatever.
To lock a price on a project like that, for me to lock that price to somebody bidding it, I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna have to either purchase it or make an agreement with the guy that I'm buying from, that I'm going to take it at some point in time.
And we gotta store it.
Contractor.
What he's asking, should we bid it right now, or should we wait till January? Got it on the start date. I guess you can always
My
reject
crystal
all
ball's
the
pretty
bids.
foggy when it comes to that.
You know when you can reject all the bids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
There's an option too.
about this time of year, 10 years ago, I went through a deal with a farmer that was putting up a big building. I mean, a big building. And steel was starting to go up. And what do? I think it's going up, I'd probably buy it. He bought it, didn't build till spring. Steel was $30, 1,000 board, or 1,000 square foot cheaper in the spring than when he bought it. That's
Was
just,
he guessing it then?
he'd pay for it in the fall. To lock it in, and we sold it.
It's
It's,
a crapshoot.
that's right.
It doesn't cost nothing to send them out and get bid. At least we know where we're at.
Yep.
Hey,
And we're not blind.
I do want everybody to know this, though, that the project still requires the bidders be bonded. And it's, you know, that could be an issue for our local guys.
Because they'll bid up to pay for that loan.
Well, it's true, but they gotta be bondable to start with. And that is primarily a financial test, you know, it's a financial test, and they provide some examples of their previous work.
That's something that they'll find out about there next week.
Caliber was bonded, look at this stuff.
I didn't go into that information.
So we'll get something together here to bid in the next, month. What I'd probably do is, if this is okay, we'd have the bids in and have council consideration first meeting in November. So the bids come in basically at the end of October.
Sounds like a plan.
We gotta clarify the installation by others too, Scott, on that.
Yeah.
We got a little time to put that together.
We were talking here, that can't be written that way like this. He was gonna ask the engineer.
It didn't seem to read right, but
Yeah, that seems a bit odd.
Greg, and I pointed that out to Greg, and he was like, yeah, that's. no,
If I was
it's
a
fine. It just
contractor,
didn't-
Scott, I
he didn't
wouldn't include
have specs on the
installation.
product. But yeah, it didn't read
Says
right.
installation by others.
Craig said that it meant that,
And he didn't have a specific spec on the product, so like
it could
brand.
be Owens Corning, it could be
Yeah.
Certain Key, it could be
Yep.
John's Manville, okay. It's,
But he didn't spec like the dimensions of the installation. Unless you read that differently than I do.
well, it's a 24/7 in that ladder frame.
You're assuming this.
No, that's enough.
So we bid it out open and closed, phone prices too. Get that put together.
I don't know,
This would be very good.
we're gonna pick a
Pick one.
open or closed cell, and we'll bid spray foam versus that.
Yeah.
Well, that's all it is.
That seems to be the better. So bid letting to the council on November 1st, or on November, we have a motion to set the bid letting date.
So we-
Roll call.
Okay, Laura,
Yes,
Reese, Tom,
yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Okay, urban renewal test.
Yes, I guess before we get into that, I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. We had talked July 1st as completion date. Everybody on board with that?
We'll also have to get trucks lined up, get storage lined up, Scott.
And we gotta get the buildings out of there, get the site prepared. There's a lot of stuff to do before.
And that's
we
gotta
build.
be bid respect too.
Where do you get the storage units from?
maybe PC.
trucking companies or whatever. You know, and
Is
whether
it
it's
M&S
TCG or.
storage or something? S&M or something? Scott, Scott Mower, is it? Oh, it's S&R or something.
It's RNS.
All right. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
It was somebody's initials.
Yeah, it's RNS. If that's what you're talking
That's what I was
about.
talking about.
Might be T and R.
T and R, I don't know.
Or there's an RT too, so
Is there
whichever you
not?
want to use.
We're on alphabet out there already.
We'll find something to read.
Yeah. There's a lot of places out there that can put it.
Now we can try the TIF and everything.
Yes, so I consulted with Bob Johnston about what we need to finalize as we get prepared to do this urban renewal amendment. And I'd really like to discuss this handout today that I gave you then tonight. There you go. Most of this verbiage is the same thing that I included in the council packet, but you saw that Bob Johnston had a couple comments. He said that downtown redevelopment line item looked pretty good, and he would proceed with that. Said for economic development and housing development, they would like to have more specificity, something more specific. So, but he says something more specific if possible. You know, if you don't feel comfortable being more specific, we can go with what we have. But here's a couple of examples about what we'd be getting at that's a little bit more specific. Like, the city might seek to purchase that land westerly adjacent to the Sauk Rail Trail, and then talk about how the city can assist with the development of that. Now with that, so the property I'm talking about there is Gus Cleveland's property, and I talked with Gus here recently about including that in the urban renewal plan, and he was certainly on board, because he may be a willing seller of that property, of course, under certain conditions, and he was going to look for an appraisal of that property, and we'd be talking with them.
But if you put this, the city may seek to purchase, if you put that wording in there, that's a public document. And then right away you say to him, well, we're thinking about purchasing that. You sure that's what you want to do?
No.
Is it sure that's what we want to do?
And just, because it can certainly be that the city would seek to assist in the development.
Yeah, I would think that would be good. I like that better, because I'm not so sure that we want to say we're going to purchase it.
Okay. So I guess that was my first idea. The second one deals with the rare property, about the city intending to assist with the repurposing of that old salvage yard property. And I guess I just throw that out to you and see what your thoughts are there.
Well, it's right adjacent to what we already have in the urban renewal, right? I don't see any reason not to, or anybody else.
So that up to 7.
Yes. Yes.
And then over this is it says that probably
There is and then, as we think about item 3, housing development, that's one of those things that I don't really have anything in mind about how you might be more specific about how you utilize your funds. I certainly am open to any ideas, but I include that statement there at the bottom, just more maybe to remind me to talk with you about it, about creating a community housing agency. And we were at this league conference last week, and in a session on rural housing success stories. And that was one of them. The successes were from Humboldt and Eagle Grove, and in both cases, they had organizations that the city partnered with and funded, and that organization was the entity that would purchase land and sell land and do the housing development projects.
And they were a non-profit organization, so they were a foundation, is actually what they were.
Basically.
So it was a different type of foundation than what we just set up.
Right, yeah.
Right, it would just be a housing foundation that may or may not ever,
Yeah, potentially, but in both cases, the city directly funded the agency.
yeah. And some
And-
other funding too, and they highly recommended that. They said it was much easier, highly recommended that if you were working on housing, that this would be a good way to proceed.
So who do they put on this board? Would it be like local businessmen?
It is a citizen board. In Humboldt, they had just established theirs as a 501c4. So,
Which is what community focus.
yes. Yep. But then it does need to have specific governance criteria, and then have criteria for the type of projects that it's worth. So anyway, I've asked them for their organizational information, I haven't gotten it, but
I think it sounded like a good
something
idea.
certainly
Yeah, I think
worth
it
pursuing.
sounds like a good idea too. That's what we're pushing for, is housing. Sounds like a good way to start.
So do you have any other good ideas about more specific projects? It just doesn't spring to mind. So, next thing I'd like for you to take a look at then is actually page 17 of the packet, and these would be the proposed urban renewal areas that we would look to add to our urban renewal zone. 3 areas basically. The one is Raritan Salvage Yard. One is the stock bin site there owned by Beckman. And then I had penciled off a large area downtown. Starting at the north side, it goes on the back side of all of those properties, including Reflections, then and then back of the Redemption Center area. Jogs that next half block to the north, it would include all of the Lakeview Lumber property. When it comes south a little bit and gets to 5th Street, jogs over a little bit more. Includes all of that city-owned property there west of the Elevate. Okay?
Is that whole strip from City Hall?
And you have had some more interest in that property, and we've never really looked at that property because there's so many utilities that run right through it, including natural gas. So we just need to do a little examination of it again, see if there's the potential for any positive use
But
there.
it could all be moved from that.
Yeah, that the gas would balk at that, because that's their main line coming from SAP and heading out of town.
But you had some interest shown in that one?
Yeah. Tyson Beckman has talked about potential places that he's going to ask about. So as you continue down that property, get down by the bike arch, this would include the alley to the east of the bike arch, and then comes down to what would be the south side of Gus's property. That's the south cutoff. Over to to Vine Street, comes up behind any of those businesses there on 3rd Street, and then behind Lakeview Foods, that would be included in also, and then north up to the corner of 5th.
It's good to me.
Everybody kind of on board with that idea? Are you on board with the more definitive ideas?
I think so, I mean, you know what,
Yeah.
what?
Especially if you're to get that cleaned up, get an idea of that stuff.
Potential. It should be cleaned up before we ever
Oh,
do any stuff like this, you know. Timing wise, it will happen. Do we have are you willing to have a motion on the intended uses and the property area?
I'll make the motion to approve the uses and the property we're discussing. But just change the wording.
I was gonna say, is the wording changed to?
Right.
I changed that
Instead of seek to
to
purchase.
assist in the development.
Yes, yes, if that changes.
Second,
I'll second.
roll call.
Okay, Mona,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Reese.
Yes, I got a question.
Thank you.
Yes.
Like to go downtown, the only thing that bothers me is, if you say develop all this for people to live up there, where's all these cars gonna, are you gonna put a parking place someplace? I mean, you're gonna take all your parking away from your
Businesses,
businesses. It's already there.
It's already got.
they'll have to get it when the parking. They'll have to be, yes, you're right.
I don't know that there's a real
Yeah.
easy answer. You know, other than when you talk with the towns who developed the downtown housing, and their take on that was that, you know, they thought that it was a good thing that they actually had enough downtown that they had a parking.
But they did purchase a little bit of land off one of the alleys in Woodbine.
Yes, they did.
And put some parking lot in there.
We got the strip property right now, we just talked about.
We got that strip, and there's also areas behind some of the buildings, like, not yours, but behind some of them, that some of those might be interesting in some of that. I mean,
You put that parking lot right in that strip, that utilities, that'd be a perfect setup for that. Yeah, do one block, you know, I'm saying.
Yeah.
To the east of there, but, so, that'd be out of the way. You could park a lot of cars.
The biggest problem is when it snows.
No, definitely, but it's always, it's gonna be that way no matter what, with downtown.
But the only thing I'm saying is that, you know, the businesses that you wanna get downtown, ain't got no place.
They are limited on parking stalls.
But if you counted the number of upper story housing, you know, the max that we could come up with in a perfect world, it wouldn't take a lot of parking area, you know, I mean, because we don't have a ton. If we could purchase a little land behind one of the businesses, I'm not so sure that there isn't a business owner there that wouldn't be agreeable.
You know, just that what I could think of is sit there and knew more than what we have is, say, 10 or 12 places.
Right.
And that's a lot. I'm not used to it.
So, I think it's doable.
Yeah, no, I guess I would tell you that I heard from Nate Moore today about his building downtown. Real interested in
Very
putting it
interesting.
together so we're getting together sometime later this week.
Right?
Wonderful.
City administrator report.
Couple things for you. On Caliber and our concrete street cracking, that I showed you that letter last time about them raising issue with having to make all of the repairs. We got Dave involved on that, and you just want to give a little update on that, Dave?
Well, yeah, I had the letter prepared to respond to their claim, and we needed a meeting room, and we just came up with that today, so the letter's going out to Caliber, saying that if they want to have an in-person claim, it'd be October 1st at 4 o'clock. And there'll be a council meeting after that. standard. And, our engineer on that is really adamant that that's Caliber's responsibility, that, the subgrade, was their responsibility to a certain extent. And actually, that contract is written, the engineer can't just declare it a deficient product and order it to take it out and replace it. The fighting issue would be once we get the pavement taken out, we see what's under there, that might be where they come up with the idea, well, we didn't expect that, or we didn't bid that, or, that type of thing. That might be where the issue is, but taking out and replacing the concrete is definitely their cost. It's just when we take it out and we find whatever it is that's causing that problem, there might be a little pushback about this upgrade. It's gonna be, we didn't identify it, the city took out the rock, the subbase, that type of thing. But that part, I would think once you've got it excavated, just remove it from the subgrade, I think it's 2.6 inch cut,
For a lot of the street roads, for the biggest cracking up there on 7th Street, that's over the storm sewer trench. So, that was
The other thing that the engineer brought up was, he attributes a lot of these cracks to the sawing or the failure to saw or the core expansion joints. So again, that's their responsibility.
So you think the odds that we get stuck because of the subbase is minimal?
Yeah, there's a pretty strong legal argument that regardless of what's down there, that was their problem, and they got it opened up. They're saying, well, we proof rolled it, so we met the specs as far as compaction goes, but I don't think it's the subgrade itself, Mr. Engineer. For something like that to happen, there might be a problem down below it. The storm sewer.
on 7th Street.
And then if that got damaged, then the roof would be the whole big
So I guess just understand, so we make this offer to have a meeting, which, they cite the SUDA specs about everything, and that's one of the requirements of SUDA. So if they ask for a meeting, we're obligated to give it. So,
It will be October 1st.
that's gonna be October 1st.
The engineer will be there too then?
Yep. So, that'll be October 1st, which is a city council meeting. So we're gonna get together with them earlier that afternoon. So we'll have them meet at 4 o'clock with the engineer, staff, Dave, and, mayor, whomever, and we can have 2 council members there if you'd like. But we would get together at 4 o'clock and then, hopefully get things hashed out. But then if it requires some council action, we'll cruise it.
Was that October 1st?
October 1st.
4 o'clock?
Yes.
Somebody that wants to be on it,
Yep, I'll be there.
otherwise I'll be there.
I
So
can't.
that's got more input, if you want to be there.
Well, you can only do 2.
I know, if you want
I
to be.
don't want, I got my bus, so I can't.
The other thing that's going on is in the SUDA that address the issue of making an in-person claim. There's language in there that says that the contractor shall not complete the work or do any more work until the issue is resolved. So this is something we need to see if we can resolve if we want that done before we do it. That's the reason for push on the date.
So my question is something like that. I think that's something we need to talk to our engineer about, because if we are pushing winter, I can't see that working for us in any way. And that's why I'm saying that
To do it before winter or after?
after winter is what I'd say, because if you did push it before winter, now we got a different set of rules, cold.
Yeah.
There's also some contention, I think, earlier on, we were talking about 16 panels, and Caliber's already refers to 34 panels, so either they know something we don't, or maybe they're viewing this as a much bigger claim that way.
Bill and I went out and measured up panels, we never came up with 30.
You know, the engineer said, we're gonna get this 34-16 or something. So they're calculating that as being a $40,000 fix on their diamond, and maybe, you know, a lot of times we find out it's not that. Not, at least the contractor finds out it's not as bad as we thought it was, we might just get it done.
Yeah.
So this will be resolved at this meeting, you think?
If it can be, if not, then either party, well, then they have to request arbitration. The city can reject arbitration, which means that would allow them to complete the work and file suit to recover their costs. They can still maintain that they had a claim, but the point where it's right. And that's, I had kind of Whitey's question there, so how hard, the closer we get to the freeze, how hard do we want to push them again?
We usually got until what, past Thanksgiving, a couple, 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, especially with street pavement, you know, you put new street pavement down, you can't put salt on it, you're supposed to leave salt on it.
That's what I say. You put a sand, salt mixture, don't you? No, okay.
Guess my next thing was Raritan case, if you wanted to give a little update on.
The judge entered an order, I sent it to Scott, maybe he shared it with you, I keep forgetting what the dates are. We put it out a little ways as to when we started, but it turns out to be October 14th, 15th.
October and then through November.
There's some discussion about Jeff Wirtz's involvement currently. I don't know whether we even noticed it or not, but we've been told that he went in and purchased the salvage in there from the state. There's no record of that in the state. And that he removed the boat running longer. And so we've got to iron out that little wrinkle between him and the contractor. I drafted up a work agreement that I sent just today to Scott to get something down in writing as to how this is going to occur. I'm going to take the position we didn't abate the house as a nuisance or any of this, or the 2 buildings and there's 3 of them. We're going to leave those out. We're going to have them rub it out and find that as a 6-inch tree.
Okay.
And diameter. I guess you'd have to get in there to find out. But I don't want us to spend a lot of money trying to get rid of trees, large mature trees, for sure. Because the new buyer is going to develop property in their own way. And taking out trees is tricky for a lot of different reasons. So the city's end of this should be wrapped up by November 9th.
So let me understand this. We have from October 9th to November 9th to clean it out.
Inside is
Right. And then the auction is gonna occur after that then?
That's their choice, but that's what they've decided to do, obviously. And then the city, I'm going to take the position, they appointed Mike Green as the receiver. And when he sells this, the city normally would collect the cost of assessment and then the taxes, the real estate taxes, and we split the assessment and they have to pay it like a special assessment. But when you're going forward with a third-party buyer and you're a receiver, that's a cost you really don't want them to have to bear. So I think the court will order that the city's cost be subtracted from the purchase price and would be reimbursed.
From the estate to the.
Rather than over, it could be up to a 10-year period.
So they will sell it for an amount of money. The purchaser pays the estate or Green that much money, and then Green pays us, and the rest goes to the estate,
Right.
right?
It'd be like when you buy any real property, they prorate the real estate taxes. So that would be accounted for in the closing statement. Is what I said to Mike Green.
What if it doesn't bring the price of what it costs us to clean it up?
That would be kind of a strange thing.
That's why he's, let me give the devil's advocate here. I mean, it costs more than what it brings at the auction. within,
You gotta look at the utility cost, what's it worth to the city, finally get
Yeah.
rid of that.
Exactly.
oh yeah, I'm all for that. That's
But how much, I don't know what the estimate would be, but could it be more than 5,000 to clean that up?
I wouldn't think so.
That property's gonna be 5,000.
Hey,
How much is left in there to go down?
I don't know, we haven't been in there.
there's quite a bit.
Well, I was gonna say, that $5,000 don't go good.
They're gonna have to move a bunch of little trees to get it all out.
That's, I don't know if that's a current picture or not, but that's what we use for court. The overhead view, and there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
I think that was after the, not
Yeah.
But,
So, yeah.
so does Richard still have a claim to some of the inside?
I wrote up the contract that if there's anything in there that he wants to salvage, he can have it. Because otherwise we'd have to pay.
Right.
So I have talked to Navi about that too, and about his willingness to do the job, and he certainly very much wants to work for the city. He was, he's a little unclear too about, he's been contacted by the mayor about just coming and starting to do the work. They claim that it's his stuff to get rid of.
He said she's.
So, anyway, he very much, he'll start work on it in October and it'll be done by November.
Well, that's.
He indicated he would rather work for the city,
Well,
as long as we get it cleaned up. That's what we're at.
It will be a public auction because the latest email that I got on that, lawyers are discussing a private auction after, one of a couple of others. Mike Green's been appointed as receiver, he's duty bound to have a public auction.
A couple other things for you. On your city emails, your Lakeview Lifestyle email, we made some changes to the emails today to allow for greater capacity. We weren't able to get large emails. We just didn't have enough capacity on what had been a free service. So now we upsized that. And I sent everybody a test email. I want to know whether you've gotten that test email or not, because otherwise there'll be some changes to your settings.
Today?
Yeah, they just sent it, yeah.
I just looked tonight before I
6
came in.
o'clock or so, I suppose.
I'll have to check it when I'm.
All I got was housing committee meeting last year.
Yeah, I looked right before I was going through that before I come, I didn't see it.
Because they said you may need to delete your account and then re-add it, but you add it as an Exchange or an Office 365.
I don't have anything.
Okay, because I sent that to you. Press 630.
The last one I had was from Tuesday.
Okay. Couple of meetings this week. Sac County League is on Wednesday, and it's up at Cattleman's. So that's starting back up again for the fall. So social time's at 6:30 and dinner's at 7. Anyone able to make it on Wednesday?
I'm planning.
I'm gonna be gone.
I always do.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then Thursday, right away the next day, is Northwest Iowa League.
And I'll be there.
And that's in Denison.
Yeah.
Good.
I'll just go right from work.
What time's that start?
Social time starts at 5, but dinner's at 6. All right. Very good. You want to talk about dilapidated houses?
Oh, Lee brought up before about some houses in town, the one out on the highway, TCT trucking, and then, Roy Weber's house, down here on the viaduct, and then that house up again, this Texas, they're 657 A's, I believe.
All right.
Anybody has any input, forces them to either fix it or, just like we did the Edward building, it was 657, right? Just, at least to push some pressure on, but we got housing shortage, there's 3 homes we can do something with. Because anybody doesn't want to do it.
So what are you talking about doing, sending them a letter notice?
Then we send them the letters to Taylor Court. Like Edible, so you either gotta fix it or make substantial improvements, otherwise the city takes the house, takes the concession. Then we turn around and sell it to somebody, and they negotiate, you have to do something with somebody else.
So we sell it right to an auction.
We've got that part.
Yeah, say the city would be an owner, it's up to the city to determine how to dispose of it.
So the one out there is owned by,
Steve, what you go with?
Yeah.
In that site, that's been empty for years. And Dave's brought that up a couple of
the
times.
one up there is owned by, Bill.
Well, long ago.
Bill.
And we gave Weber a year to put a shrink wrap on it, that was cut it, so we're done with that.
Yeah. We might be able to put up a title for them too, if we take title and sell it back to them.
As long as he fixes them up, though.
The problem is we can't pick and choose who buys, they have to be
Right.
highest bidder.
I took a class, Scott did it as well, with different ones on nuisance, abatement, and some of the things. Guy from Burlington did an excellent presentation on what they're doing over there, of course, they're mega problems. But, they go to court, they took over one building, and it ended up costing $400,000, it's like an old school, and that had been turned into like a nursing home. And so, then it went empty, and it was in a prime location, and they just kept uncovering asbestos and another layer of asbestos. But he said, in the end, they were able to market it, we have a vibrant tax-paying, place there, so. But anyway, they had some incentive programs for some of these, a neighborhood incentive program. And the neighborhood had to apply, and the neighborhood, because I don't have all of these particulars, the neighborhood had to apply to the city. And the city then decided what neighborhood was going to be eligible for this. And each homeowner in this area could receive up to $1,000 payment from the city. They had to turn in bills saying that they couldn't spend 50, you get 1,000, I'm saying, but, they had to turn in bills. And he said, we've had a lot of success with it. The neighborhood has decided to kind of go together and clean up. And I know it sounds like a giveaway program, but, when you're trying to go to court all the time and you lose, like we lost with the property south of the post office, John tells me, you go through the court cost, that's not cheap either. So, I just think it's something maybe in the future we could be looking at, if we found out more about how it actually operates. But he said they've been very successful.
We had 2 classes there that we took for abatements, nuisance. Always somebody's trying to do something.
Well, and sometimes it's not a nuisance, it just looks like a nuisance, So, how can you get them to clean it up when you can't really say it's junk or it's not, to them it's not, is what I'm saying, I guess. It's clutter more, and how could we get the town cleaned up a little bit? That was one of the things they were doing. I thought it was interesting.
There's been a lot of legislation, a lot of policy developed in the last few years to work on that, because it is becoming a huge problem.
Yes.
And the judges have to stand behind the community and say, hey, that's ridiculous, that, boy, he doesn't have anywhere to put it. Well, what answer is that? That he shouldn't have it. So I just think that, and I asked him about that, and he said, the ordinance can be as strong as you want it to be, and then let them find out, prove you wrong, so kind of interesting, I think.
That's all I got.
I'd like to, one thing about the dump out here and all that concrete, how come we don't recycle this and use it for building ground?
We are, Chewy, once you get it full, Chewy will come and grind it for us, but he wants to.
He wants his stuff.
Yeah, but he'll do it for free if we give him the.
So that'd be a great idea, I think it's gonna fall.
Yeah, but he wants it, as full as we can get it before he uses the machine. But he'll haul it all the way, we want to bury it.
Well, I think it's foolish to bury it like that.
That's why he's
Kinda
coming.
like recycling pop cans if you don't do it. But it's just-
How long have we been working with him?
He hasn't come yet, we haven't got it for him. I talked to him last spring, and he said,
Good job, John. Thinking ahead.
we shouldn't be burying stuff.
From now on, then they ought to haul it out to Chewy's out there. Put
Yeah,
it on his
yeah,
file.
yeah. When he grinds it up, he'll haul it away.
I mean, really.
Yeah. But
But then it
will
wouldn't
grind
be
it.
the city's fault, it'd be the contractor.
Yeah, no, he's gonna grind it all the way, no cost to send it. He just wants it as full as we can get it.
I just think you have to be recycling that stuff. I just can't
We
see
are.
burying that crap.
We'll run out of room, that's why I talked to him.
Well,
We're
we're
aligned to
gonna
do it.
run out of room.
Yeah. The motion to adjourn,
I make that motion.
second,
Second.
in adjourn.
I have a concussion.
You got a video.
Last year I was in there.
You know what? He was